Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now January 9th of 2021, and ever since the very end of The Mandalorian Season 2, a lot of fans around the world have been very intrigued about the future of the Star Wars franchise by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one major aspect of the franchise that a lot of fans are looking forward to is how we have George, John, and Dave, as I like to call it, the FAVREAU universe, working on a number of projects such as Rangers, Mando Season 3 and 4, as well as the Book of Boba, the Ahsoka Tano show, as well as the Obi-Wan Kenobi series starring Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen. I mean, a lot is being poured in to the Star Wars franchise to the point where it's actually very surreal to even think that this is actually happening, right? Like, who would have knew? Now, everything related to Kathleen Kennedy over the past couple of years, we do know that she has been a destructive force, there is no doubt about that. You know, everything ranging from what she did with The Last Jedi, to Solo: A Star Wars Story, all the way over to the damage control with The Rise of Skywalker. Kathleen Kennedy has not been the best fit for Star Wars, that is a given fact. Now, when we go ahead and see what Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau did the past couple of weeks, they literally reunited the fandom. I mean, look at what they did in just 2 minutes worth of footage of Luke in the finale of Season 2 of Mando. But it wasn't just about Luke. It was about the excellent storytelling in Mandalorian, and how it connects to past Star Wars movies such as the prequel trilogy. Now, with that being said, what's really intriguing is that everything related to The Mandalorian Season 3 and how it's now in development, both Disney and Lucasfilm are fully focused on their new Star Wars projects for their universe. It's described, however, that recently in an interview, Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy went on to say that she actually realizes now that it was a mistake to handle the sequel trilogy films, and that we understand that the fans had issues with many parts of the movies. Kathleen Kennedy goes on to state that George Lucas should have actually been more involved with the sequel movies, and that by rejecting his concepts and ideas for the films, she feels responsible for actually some of the divide between the Star Wars fandom. Kathleen Kennedy also continues to state that she believes that the fandom would have stayed united if they had accepted more of George Lucas's ideas from the sequel trilogy movies and more. Kathleen Kennedy also unveils that she apologizes for not handling the Star Wars universe properly for the fans, and that she now realizes how important the franchise is to the entire fandom around the globe. Now, let's stop right here for 1 second, because I really have to make a very important point here as to why I don't necessarily believe that this is genuine. Alright, so number one, alright, how she goes over how George Lucas should have been more involved in the sequel trilogy movies, and how essentially it would have enhanced the experience of the sequel movies if George was more involved. Let's not forget that he was involved at one point in time for Episode 9 until he was let go by Kathleen Kennedy, where a whole bunch of deleted scenes were left on the cutting room floor, never to actually see the light of day, which, by the way, Bob Chapek is going to make that happen with a new cut of Episode 9 by 2023. The other thing is this, alright? The Acolyte is a prime example that this is not genuine. The Acolyte, starring, of course, you know, a handful of new and upcoming actors and actresses, as well as Brie Larson in the mix, with Leslie Headland as the main writer, with some co-writers by her side. Kathleen Kennedy is supervising that project, and in that project, they are going to be pretty much throwing a lot of philosophies by George Lucas with Star Wars into the trash can. That's what they're doing. It's the unfortunate truth, but that is what they're doing with the Acolyte TV series, is that it is literally shifting away from George Lucas's vision, and it's going to essentially retcon many aspects of his philosophies within Star Wars. Now, thankfully, I'm not too worried about this, because George, John, and Dave can easily just reverse that with no problem. Easily, guys. Look at what Jon Favreau did in just 2 minutes of Luke in the Mandalorian Season 2 finale. That's all it took, right? So, a prime example, we went over this just the other day, of how Kathleen Kennedy and Leslie are going to erase Anakin Skywalker's legacy as the Chosen One, and making Brie Larson's character, dubbed as Maeve, the new Chosen One, and the true Chosen One at that, a Jedi God in a sense. Well, George, John, and Dave, they can easily reverse that by just introducing a far more powerful character. It's as simple as that, really. Now, with that being said, of course, you know, obviously, Kathleen Kennedy is trying to save her image, trying to save her legacy, trying to at least keep some supporters of herself within the Star Wars universe. Now, some of you guys out there might like Kathleen Kennedy, and that's fine. But to me, she's not fit for Star Wars, never was fit for Star Wars, and never will be fit for Star Wars. And thankfully, George, John, and Dave are really saving the franchise and moving things forward on a positive note. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon we hear them moans again.